Hello, everyone. Welcome to another episode of Tech Show with Daryoush. My name is Daryoush, your host, and our guests are Captain Kurt Roskopf,
Hi, hi.
aka Special K Ambassador from TDC TV from Wisconsin, and Emily Goldmer from Prosperity Pathways and Onward and Upward. But my friend has not, Robert Blakely has not joined us yet. Uh, I have a, I had an issue. There was two incidents this in the past week, and I want to talk about them. First, I thought that I saw sometimes uh, on the different places that there was a there was a cartoon that someone says, "Are you a programmer?" I said, "Yes." Can you hack my Facebook? Can you hack my Instagram? And well, that's for fun. And say, come on. But actually, said something like this happened. And someone asked me, okay, you are a security expert. Can you uh, do a hack recover? I want you to recover the Instagram hacked account. Cybersecurity people cannot recover the hack account from a server that they don't have access to it. If you hire someone, if you have a social network and a dedicated server, and you hire security expert to secure the website and keep it secure and monitor it, everything. When something happens, that person can recover any account that he wants. And it has a process. Usually it is needed that the person who claims this account belong to him and he cannot no longer access to it, verifies that he is actually the owner of the account and provides some sort of proof. And in that case, they will help and recover the account. So many times I've seen that someone forgets his password and tries to log in once, it is not working, either types the password incorrect or accidentally clicks on the caps lock button, and it starts to enter the characters and symbols in the reverse in another form, and it is not displayed on the keyboard on the monitor, and it thinks that, okay, I'm entering the password correct and it is not working, so my account has been hacked. No, this is not correct. This account has not been hacked. Try to reset your password. If you enter your password twice or three times, use the password authentication by email, and you do not receive the confirmation email with the code to enter it then yes, your account has been hacked. But if you have enabled two-factor authentication with Authenticator app or a text message to your phone, such kind of accounts cannot be hacked easily. And how, if someone who has not access to a server, no matter he's a security expert or what, he cannot do this. He cannot do that. Do not expect someone, any security expert any cybersecurity expert to be able to recover your Facebook or Twitter or Instagram. For these things, if something happens, you must follow a process. You must contact the support. At the beginning, usually there are some bots that you have to chat with that, and you reach to a point that you are connected to a human. And then you talk to them, chat with them. If necessary, they will call you. And when your identity has been verified, they will reset the password and gives the control of your account back to you. And you must immediately change your password. But I do recommend to always enable the two-factor authentication, and do not save that. It is better to always enter a passcode other than saving, okay, don't ask me on this browser again. There are malwares that might be able to steal those cookies from your browser, and with that they may take any control of your account. Nothing happens if you enable two-factor authentication and wait for a text message or read a 6-digit number from your phone and enter it to the browser and log into the account that you want. This is very important. You must always keep this in mind. However, if you have a website, if you have a dedicated server, and if you have if you have hired someone for the cybersecurity of your account, of your server, then yes, that person can do the recovery for the client that you want. This was the first point that I wanted to talk to you. There is also another news. I don't know, it is something for laugh or it is serious. Instagram is going to enable encrypting the chats on the cloud. Your personal chats with someone on the cloud, you can encrypt it. They listen to our phone, to our to our talks, even when WhatsApp, even when the WhatsApp is not active, the app is closed. It listens to our phones. We have tried it so many times. They have logged it so many publications, tech gurus have monitored it, and your phone is not active. WhatsApp is not running. Only the Facebook is running. We talk about something, and a few minutes later, you start to receive advertisements on the Facebook about the same subject that you were talking. It is obvious that they are listening to everything, even our private talks. Isn't it better to stop that? When they listen everything, encryption on the cloud, I don't think to be, after they read our messages, maybe they want to encrypt it. Anyway, that was something funny that was very, I wanted to talk to you about. And another issue that I wanted to talk to you is that the number of attacks, cyber attacks, has been increased so much. Be very careful when you enter to, and you want to uh, go to a new website, always be careful. Most of the security softwares, they provide a secured environment like a sandbox or secure box or title something like that. And when you open a website, it shows the browser first. It shows the browser with a uh, green line around the browser window. And when you enter to any website, nothing will be stored on your computer, nothing will be stored anywhere, and everything will be stored on a secure part in the memory. And when you close the browser, it will be destroyed. For any new website, any website that not new, any kind of website, it is better to use this kind of browsing, because you don't know which website is safe, which one is hacked, or which has been hacked, what it is going to do. And another issue that I wanted to talk to you about was about the ADA compliance, which is the expertise of Captain Kirk. Captain Kurt. As a colorblind person, as a person with astigmatism, I recommend that you can hire whoever you want, but always consult with a disabled person and see what he says, what is his recommendation. So many times, these people who do the auditing, they follow a checklist. They are not disabled. They do not see the world the way someone who has a visual disability sees, and they cannot feel how they feel. Hiring someone, consulting someone with visual disability will be very helpful, and be sure that person will be honest with you, because he might become a new client for your service. Kurt, please tell us more about the ADA and disability, different kind of disabilities that cover, say, the ADA for the websites.
Well, we come into it that it's a simple premise that we want to make sure that all of our computer users, all of our surfers out there, and any visitor to a web page or a website can take advantage like anybody else. The information that's being shared and be able to engage through that domain to the company and to the people that are in the contact section and so forth, and be able to get all the information. And when we look at videos and so forth, to ask ourselves, if we're showing a video and we're trying to present to the blind or visually impaired community, what's that alternative way to get that same information? Now, obviously, they're going to be able to hear whatever is verbalized. And then conversely, with any videos that you're relying on the spoken message to share content, are we having the closed captioning or the subtitles or, whatever, that visually someone who's deaf or hard of hearing can get that information? And are we considering actually sign language interpretation? Have we looked into what it would be to have during our video message a sign language interpreter available during that shared video? So a lot of these things are really not a common practice by any means, which is the unfortunate reality. So it really becomes a worldwide conversation. What is the professional community going to do about this? And I think you, Daryoush, should bring up a good proposal here, because in disability advocacy, the disability community cries out to say nothing about us without us. And I think that's what you're saying, Daryoush, is there's so many of us that don't have, that personal attribute, or, have never experienced, a web page with, like you say, color blindness. But, we can make the case for somebody with a physical disability with dexterity. And if you have content too close together, and, somebody with, dexterity on the mouse and so forth, that they're going to point at something, and there could be, literally wiggle room that they don't have, and all of a sudden they're clicking to the wrong page. That can be really frustrating for a visitor to know what they want to select, but they're having a lot of difficulty because their physical dexterity doesn't match the type of precision that some web designs are demanding, and it's just making it not accessible. So there's all these things we have to consider.
Yeah. Exactly. Unfortunately, I was checking some websites today and noticed that line height between the distance between the lines are too short. Maybe someone with normal visibility can read such kind of text, but I couldn't follow the lines. And maybe for someone with normal eyes can see curving lines in different directions, and it takes over them. But I saw a graphic that it was pink with so many moving lines with different directions over it in white, and tiny white lines over it. And again, and it text with bigger font size was written on that. I could not read that. And unfortunately, this website belongs to an organization that their job is connected to the healthcare. When the healthcare industry do not pay attention to people with the disability, what can we expect from the others?
Yeah, I mean, I think it's a tip of the iceberg type of thing. We're seeing that tip of the iceberg, but there's so much of the bigger problem that really is what we're up against. And I think it's very much a cultural component. That's kind of what the last 15 to basically I reported as basically as long as I've known you, Daryoush, if we say 17, 18, 19 years we've known each other, that during that time, I started to realize that, I didn't really take the opportunity to be more involved with the disability community. And, and thinking about it for a couple decades now, I really assess it to be that there's a lot of genetic memory, there's a lot of custom and traditions that are just carried over, and we're just continuing old stuff is just being continued. And I think some of this stuff needs to be rebooted and rethought through, and to have what they say out there in agency work as collective impact, or like community work, collective impact, where you bring people that are from the different segments of the community. So you have faith leaders, and you have people that are, on the board of a service organization maybe, and people like have your library involved, or, and then have, the appropriate government staff, that this is their area in government, or like you say, healthcare, and, businesses, that's really where I'm at today, is that I really want to get like chambers of commerce and associations and networking groups and, all this stuff where businesses gather, and to say, let's make it an ethics. Let's have an ethos that we have to make this stuff ethical, that it's like, yeah, we have the legal stuff, the ramifications of law and the fines, but obviously that's not enough, because these fines have been in place, for decades, and it's not enough. We have to be leaders and to say this is our expectation. And we also need to get that dialogue and narrative going in the with consumers, because we have to think of a way to make that part of buying decisions, that if a company is ignoring accessibility, and if we notice their website's not accessible, bam, loss of business. When you hit people's bottom line, that now we're talking, right?
Yeah, exactly. Look, these statistics about the people with the disability is not does not show and represent the actual number of people with disabilities. There are so many people that they have a disability and do not know. Like me, for 50 years, I did not know I am colorblind. And I always talk and quarrel with people. My eyes are correct. You need to go to a doctor. You go and see what's wrong with your eyes. Why? Because since the moment I opened my eyes, I've seen the word like this. And I couldn't believe, when I found out, I could not believe what I heard. How many people are like me? And different kinds of disabilities. This is just a visual.
Yeah, and you've made a point about templates that the web development industry created this thing out of convenience, that people just want quick and easy, snap, 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 pop in content and then you're done. But to me, it's the old thing of haste makes waste, and I think we need to revolutionize that, where even templates are expected to be accessible. I mean, it'd be so easy to replicate accessibility, but it's not in place. Right?
Unfortunately, these templates that most of the hosting companies are providing are not ADA compliant and the code level. We had an issue, wanted to fix it. The hosting company did not provide access to the codes because it is a template. And people who create these websites are not aware of the ADA. And these unprofessionals, these people that they just know how to take one piece from here, put it here. They are not creating a web page. They are just writing it. They use it like Microsoft Word. Any word processor, instead of saving things on the computer, it's saving on the web. This is not create a website. This is not creating a website. And they charge people sometimes for it. I've seen people, I have seen these kind of people that charge their clients so much that if they ordered a programmer to create a website that for them by coding, it was cheap. It was ended them much cheaper than the amounts that they are paying to these people. And worst of all, they create something and then people say, okay, now go and make it ADA compliant. What is wrong with that? Why don't you do it from the very beginning? It is much cheaper for you. It will be much cheaper. It looks like constructing a building and then say, okay, now I want to redesign it like this. Instead of 10 apartments on each floor, 12 apartments. One apartment like this, one like this. Do it from the very beginning. The cost will be much cheaper. You don't go and say, hey, I want to buy a car with 6 cylinders. When they deliver it to you, okay, now change the engine.
Right. Well, and the other thing economically for the future is, I really propose that this is such a conversation with us that really the World Wide Web is only about 3% of the way to where it ought to be. So, my personal expectation of the marketplace and of cyberspace is that 33 times more in this accessibility realm. And I quantify it that way because I think people kind of get lost in just this general expectation of accessibility. But if we can have a bullseye target and to look at the why behind it. See, that's where chambers of commerce, associations, networking groups, everybody should get involved. Because imagine that if we look at the accessibility of the decades of past, only got us 3% of the way there. And we have what's in front of us to make a quantum leap and multiply that by 33 so that we're a little bit better into the realm of reasonability. That's going to have that economy of scale. Where then in the entire world, we're going to be in a better place because it's just going to make it so routine. It's going to make it just negligible, about being accessible. And that's what everybody has to think about. Let's do this together so that we have this, massive economics behind it, that it just happens. It's the new world. It's like nobody's inaccessible anymore. That to me is the goal I propose.
Exactly. I agree. Okay, everyone. Thank you for joining with us. Please remember, cybersecurity experts, the only thing they can help you on recovering your password, resetting your account, is to help you contact the support of the social network, social media that you have problem, and tell you what to do, how to tell them, and in what language they talk to them, using the technical inform, providing what kind of technical and details to them so that they respond you faster and help you get back the control of your account. And If you want your website to be ADA compliant, first of all, when you want to order for a new website, from the very beginning, hire someone to tell you what to do, how it should be. It would be much cheaper for you than creating something and then want to change it. Always remember, you don't go and buy a car and say, okay, I want a blue car, then no, okay, when they deliver it, now change the color to red. From the very beginning, you say, I want a red car. The same for your website and for any other thing. What's the difference? Enjoy the weekend and stay safe. Have a good weekend.
Bye, everybody.
Bye.